Hello, my name is Allie, and welcome to Funny Fat Friend, a podcast about this bodacious biracial babe trying to find herself in film. Here's an update. We have been protesting here in Louisville for 248 days for justice. You can find the link to the wish list of supplies we are in need of here for protesters, and if you can give to the Louisville Bail Fund, please do. Charges are being pursued, and we need every piece of support that we can get. Okay. Transition. I have a very special guest with me today to tackle a massive classic. It is my good pal, Daniel. Yay, Daniel.
Hello. I'm happy to be here to talk about this amazing movie.
So we have watched a lot of films together, I think. In the short time we have known each other, we've watched a lot of movies. And we're film-based pals for sure.
That's right. It is a common pastime.
So you recommended that we do this one because I've wanted to have you on the podcast for a long time, just because we are film-based friends, and. But this is your idea to tackle this massive piece of work.
Yeah, I really like Spider-Man. He's my favorite superhero, and this movie is kind of where it all started, you know? I think I liked Spider-Man before this movie came out, but like seeing Spider-Man in action, in like real life, so to speak, was pretty cool. So yeah, I like the movie. It's a great movie, and it's goofy. It's really goofy.
It is far goofier than I remembered it being. Definitely.
Yeah.
Which is like, I haven't watched the original Spider-Man since, I think, shortly after it was in the theaters. I remember seeing it when it was like, shit, I don't know. I guess it still would have been like VHS for me, I think, in little old Danville. We still were rocking the VHS. Tidal Wave. Yeah. That was the name of our rental place in Danville, was Tidal Wave. Those guys. They did it big. All right, so Spider-Man. And, well, I guess there's a little mystery of like, what Spider-Man are we doing? Because at this point, there are as many Spider-Man films as there are like Batman films, which I think it's like 9 or 10 technically have been made. That's so many.
Yeah. When you consider the Batman films predate the Spider-Man films by decades.
Yes.
It's wild.
It's extremely wild.
Yeah.
But with the success of this one, I do understand the capitalizing on it, I guess. Like, money. Yeah, money does stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it came out in 2002. It had a budget of $139 million. For 2002?
Yeah.
That's insane. That's so much money.
That's a blockbuster. Definitely.
Like, the first Harry Potter didn't have a budget that big.
No. It couldn't have. No one knew what Harry Potter was at that time, probably.
Yeah, I guess. Right? Yeah, but it did. It is the catalyst of the modern superhero film. It is like, unequivocally, we would not have the MCU, which I still refuse to watch almost any of.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have it without Spider-Man. But it did make $825 million at the box office.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That's wild.
Isn't that an insane amount of money?
That's crazy.
It like hurts my head.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're just gonna talk through the film. So right off the top, this score fucking slaps. The score for this movie, oh my fuck. I definitely did not appreciate it as a child. I was like getting down to the Pirates of the Caribbean film. That was like the first film score I noticed as a kid that was like, this fucking does it. But now as an adult, I like Danny Elfman, I feel like gets shit on all the time. It's like a throwaway, like, composer.
Like only Tim Burton kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got, I guess, pigeonholed with the Tim Burton movies. But fuck, this score slaps.
Yeah. When I saw that he did the score, I was like, I was ready for something good. And when in the credits play and they have the whole credits at the beginning of it, it's just this epic. It's very grand. Like it fits the mood perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the credits also clock in at over 3 minutes long.
Oh no. Wow.
I do not miss opening credit sequences. I do not miss them.
That's crazy. That it reminds me of. There's definitely the older, like I always think of movies from like the 60s or 70s that have those really intricate opening sequences. That can be interesting to watch because it's, I don't know, it's got something. The animation and stuff that they did back then was kind of cool, but now it's like, man, just tell me like the director's name maybe, and then move on.
Yeah, that's like, I do not care. It was like fun. It's like, ooh, it's spider webs, and ooh, they're getting more intricate, and ooh, it's the city. But then quickly it was like, all right, I'm done. I see what you're doing. Yep. It's been a minute. We have 2.5 more.
Everyone.
Okay. Then we finally get actual life past the animation, and it starts with a voiceover, which the people who listen to this podcast know that I despise a fucking voiceover. I think it's very dumb and unnecessary, and I think I'm validated in this with this voiceover. It is really uncomfortable and weird. He says, this, like any story worth telling, is about a girl.
Oh, he said that?
Yes, that's the opening lines of the movie.
Oh, no. I don't think I registered that. Yeah. I don't think I even, it didn't come into my brain.
Because it's not a story about a girl. It's about a spider.
Yeah.
I would have liked that so much more. If the opening, I would have liked the voiceover. It said, this, just like any other, is a story about a spider. That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. But we see Peter Parker, played by Tobey Maguire. What a king. Hasn't done much. Has he done much lately?
No. I don't think so. I think he's going to be in the new Spider-Verse movie.
Oh, that's dope.
I've heard rumors about that, I think.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I don't know. But, like, good for him. He also definitely made enough money doing these that, like, you get to do that thing where you can do whatever you want. Like with Robert Pattinson with the Twilight films and stuff like that.
Yes.
Do whatever. But yeah, so we see Tobey Maguire, who is playing Peter Parker. He is chasing the school bus in the morning. And he is a fucking loser and no one likes him. Like, to a level that I've never seen before in my life. Like, someone so despised. Even
the school bus driver hates him, too.
Yeah, even the school bus driver is like, nah, fuck this kid. Holy shit, what did he do? Like, literally, what did he do?
Yeah, he just seems like a quiet kid that minds his own business. And everyone hates him for it.
It is. Oh my god. It's like, I imagine it's what people fantasize about, I guess, when they're like awkward kids. Is like, just like, I'm amazing and everybody's mean to me or whatever. Like, I'm not doing anything. Yeah. So, I don't know. I guarantee Peter did something fucking awful and we're just not getting it.
That could be. We need a prequel.
I do. I want to
really
know.
Explain it.
I want to know what's up. What the fuck did Peter Parker do? Somebody let me know.
He's got something in his closet. Skeletons in his closet.
He has to. He's the worst. Well, he is the worst to his aunt and uncle. He is a big old bitch to them. So yeah, something's up. But I guess as being a teenager, like, you're the worst.
Yeah, that's true.
To, like, your authority figures. But damn, all the kids fucking hate him.
Right.
So great. They go on a school trip immediately. I don't understand if the bus is taking them to the school trip that he missed and he's chasing it, or if they're going to school and then going to a school trip. I don't know. I definitely wasn't meant to understand.
Yeah, they didn't think it was important, I guess, to tell us that.
They did not expect me to be tearing it up like this, for sure.
Right.
They already were like,
later.
this is about a man who gets bit by a spider, bitch, calm down. Like, these things don't matter. But they go on this school trip to visit Columbia University's genetics lab. And we also meet Harry Osborn, which is played by James Franco. And he's this, like, misunderstood bad boy, rich boy thing. Like,
yeah, he doesn't make sense.
No.
What's his deal, though? Well, I guess his dad sucks. I guess that's his deal.
Yeah, his dad sucks and is rich. So,
yeah.
He sucks. I don't, like...
Yeah.
But he's friends with the dude that literally nobody in the school likes?
Yeah, it is weird, because Harry also doesn't seem to have any friends.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe he's too rich for the school. Everyone hates him because he's too rich. I don't know.
Well, we get he's in his car with his dad, and his dad lets us know, thankfully, the audience, that he has been kicked out of every private school on, like, the East Coast. And that's why he has to go to public school.
Okay, yeah.
So, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, they seem to be each other's only friends. And he's not a really good friend. He's a bad friend to Peter. So I guess Peter's just desperate. Mm-hmm. And it's like, sure, Harry, you're my friend. Because while they're walking around this genetics lab, which is a school trip, that's not a school trip.
No. They're going to go see spiders.
Yeah.
Special spiders,
the university's that's not a thing. Like, I lived in a college town, and we didn't go walk around the labs in college. Like,
just watch him do science.
Yeah, just watching him do shit. Like, it's really... Okay. But sure. But yeah, he's a terrible friend, because, like, they're walking around, and Peter is telling him all these facts about all the little spiders and stuff. And then Harry immediately goes and starts talking to Mary Jane, which we find out is the girl that is from the voiceover.
Aforementioned girl.
Yeah, the most important thing of the entire movie is this woman, Mary Jane, played by Kirsten Dunst. And Harry uses all the facts Peter tells him to, like, get in with Mary Jane. She's, like, fascinated by them all.
Yeah. Harry is talking to Peter and is like, hey, you got to go talk to Mary Jane. Like, you like her. You got to go talk to her. And then Peter kind of just is like, no. And then Harry was like, okay, well, I guess it's my chance. Like,
yeah, so fuck you.
What?
Yeah. That's so mean. That's so shit. Yeah, Harry fucking sucks. Great. So they, like, are all walking around. Then Peter, I guess, gets up the courage to talk to Mary Jane and is like, can I take some pictures of you for the school paper? I need some with students in it.
It's a good line.
Oh my god. But then she, like, starts, like, posing all weird and is like, wow, look at the spider.
Yeah.
But while he's taking photos, a spider comes down from the rafters. I don't understand how it got out of its cage. Nobody's concerned. Like, so this super spider comes out of the rafters and bites fucking Peter on his hand, and he, like, goes, ow. But then keeps taking pictures of Mary Jane.
He doesn't even squish the spider. He just kind of looks at it.
Yeah. And also, this spider is still loose.
Yeah.
Feasibly.
He should have told someone.
Yeah, this spider is loose. How many more spider people are there? This has to have set off a catalyst. No way the spider only bit one person.
Yeah.
They're opening up too much of a wormhole. Well, whatever. That's why we have 400 Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Yeah, I guess that's an explanation.
All the Spider-Man movies are connected to this one moment in the first Spider-Man movie when he gets bit. And there just happen to be a lot of Peter Parkers. Their name. It is a very normal name.
Yeah, it's plausible. It could happen.
All right, sweet. So, meanwhile, Harry's dad, Norman Osborn, who is played by a man I forgot to write down his name. He's so famous.
Willem Dafoe.
Thank you. Yes, also in The Lighthouse. I talked about
The
Robert
Lighthouse,
Pattinson.
yeah. Yep.
We did not see that movie together, but we both saw it and talked about it.
Yes.
Amazing. That's art. But,
Lobsters
okay, Norman Osborn. He is a scientist, I guess. It's not actually explicitly said he's a scientist. It is heavily implied by his actions that he is a scientist.
Yeah.
And he is the owner of Oscorp. And they are trying to land a major military contract. And he's making this, performance-enhancing chemical that has just failed a bunch of tests. And they can't get it together. If they don't get it together, the military man is all like, you're going to lose your funding. There's so many holes in logic of why, one, I'm supposed to care about them losing their funding, but also they're a company. I don't.
Shouldn't they have already gotten paid?
Yeah, I was like, I thought they were trying to sell this equipment to them, not that they had already gotten it funded. But it doesn't matter. It's not meant to be analyzed. Sure. So, great. Back at home with the Parkers, we see Peter's aunt and uncle are discussing the terrible state of employment that is currently, up against them. His uncle just got laid off, and they're really struggling financially.
Yep.
And then Peter gets home and goes straight to bed because he looks like a dead fucking body.
He does. He looks bad.
He looks really awful.
So going back just a moment, when Uncle Ben is talking about losing his job, there's a really great quote that I wrote down. And he says, "The corporation is downsizing their people and upsizing their profits." I thought it was really funny. Yeah.
Yeah. He also talks about
he really got him.
Looking at the one ads and there's some computer something, and Ant-Man is like, you could do that. And he's like, I'm 70 years old. I don't know what a fucking computer is.
Right.
So thinking about 2002 computers, it's so basic.
Yeah. You didn't really have to know how to do all that much.
No. Oh man. Oh, Uncle Ben. Damn. So back at the lab, Norman is there, and his partner is worried about him. His science partner man. But Norman says risks are part of laboratory science.
Yeah, which I don't think is true.
I don't think that's true either. That's the point of doing experiments, control. It's all about a control versus the experimental group and what? So sure.
That's why we have mice.
That is why we have mice. It's the only reason we have mice.
I think that's the point. Yeah.
Mice wouldn't exist.
We kept them around for this long.
Yeah, we wouldn't have mice anymore.
That's right.
Oh man. So, Norman decides to be his own mouse, and he experiments on himself. He takes the drug that they have been creating, which they keep in a little glass bottle.
Yeah, it was like a Voss water bottle full of this green stuff.
A Voss water. And he just downs it, and then throws it on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
So dramatic. And then he straps himself into a table and then put inside this like glass case of green smoke. So I don't know if the chemical is what he drank or if the chemical is the scary green smoke surrounding him.
Yeah. He just... I feel like they have to work together, but the stuff he drank the whole bottle. It doesn't seem like you need that much. Like, he didn't measure it at all.
No.
He just took it and drank it.
Uh-huh.
Which is crazy. I mean, that's probably what went wrong, honestly. It probably would have worked fine if he would have measured something.
Yeah, you should have got one of those little plastic cups that comes on top of, like, Pepto-Bismol or something and, like, all right, 1 milligram. Come on, my guy.
Right.
Whatever. And so, yeah, he's, like, surrounded by all this green smoke, which makes him convulse, and he full-on dies. He just dies.
Yeah?
He literally fucking dies. And so his lab partner goes to, like, check on him and try and revive him like a nice man. And Norman wakes up and immediately chokes him. You wake up and choke somebody? You ever been like that, you know?
I've never been like that, no. I have not.
Same! So, yeah, so he does a good wake-up choke, and he then throws him through the glass wall, and then hops on a table and hisses like an angry cat.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the scene! The amount they expect me to, like, just accept what's happening is insane in this film.
There's so much fill in the blanks that you could do if you wanted to, like we're trying to do now. We're trying to fill in these blanks, but I don't think they ever wanted you to do it.
No, they didn't. They wanted you to just, like,
yeah.
Go, yep. Of course.
Makes sense.
Oh my god, yeah. Him hissing, oh my god. I wonder how many different takes Willem Dafoe gave them for that scene. Where he hops up on the table. Like, I want to see all of them. Like, there was a hissing one,
notes?
there was like a bark. That's what I'm looking for. I'd pay like $50 just to watch, probably. Those cuts. Great. So, the next morning, Peter discovers that he no longer needs his glasses.
Yeah, he's not a nerd anymore.
Yeah. And he's also fucking ripped. Like, absolutely swole.
Yeah, really.
And he's just, like, pumped
Overnight.
about it. He's just like, hell yeah. If I woke up and I could see... Oh my god. I would cry. I'd start crying. One, I'd call my mom right away. I'd go to the hospital.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that I would do. I would not accept it at all. I'd be like, something literally has broken inside my brain. Like, no way I can see. For sure, reality is just unhinged. I'm not awake. Maybe I'm dead now. Like,
yeah, you lose your mind. Like, I think that's a symptom of losing your mind. Like, something that drastic just happens overnight.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's a high school kid, so it's fine. Also, they all are fucking almost 30 years old. They all look... These are the worst high school aged people I've ever seen.
Yep. Especially what's the jock guy's name? Is that Flash? Is that who that is?
Yes, Flash is the jock guy.
Yeah, he definitely looks.
Yeah, he looks
old.
30 years old.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything to try and make them look younger. Like, they're all barely wearing any makeup. Like, I do miss that about the early 2000s filmmaking. It's just like, whatever, you got like a tube sock, wear that. I don't care. We're going.
Yeah. Yeah. That was what I also wrote that down. Like the costumes and just the way this whole movie looks, it seems not put together. I don't know. The whole color palette of the movie just doesn't work together. It's not one color palette.
Yeah.
There's like every single color is in every single scene. It's weird.
It's so weird, especially coming from like a comic book that is so like orchestrated, so put together, so meticulous to be like,
Yeah.
fuck it, throw it. We don't care. And
Right.
finding out it had a budget of $139 million, and this is what it looks like? Where did that money go?
I don't know. It was all those wires that they had to fly him around on.
I guess. That's so wild. And I guess the action, like the explosions and stuff. I don't know. Still, I still don't believe all of that added up to $139 million. Something is going awry here. Because also they didn't spend it on celebrities. None of these people were like famous, like super famous.
No, probably no.
No, at this time they're not. Like nobody in it is. Well, I guess Cameron Diaz was like. Was she even that popular yet? I don't know. I was like 9. I was 9 years old, so I don't know.
Right. I don't know.
That's not Cameron Diaz. I said it was Cameron Diaz. Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst, yeah, that's
See,
right.
all my white women from the early 2000s are like... Whatever.
Same vibe.
Phenomenal. So yeah, Peter is now swole. We also see that Mary Jane is his neighbor. I don't understand really where they live. They live outside of the city. Maybe like Staten Island or something.
I thought they lived in Queens.
They kept talking about wanting to move into the city.
That's what confused me. I wonder if they were just talking about Manhattan as the city.
Maybe.
Or something. Yeah. But yeah, that was confusing to me too.
Yeah. I was like, okay, maybe they live in New Jersey. I don't know. Maybe they live in New Jersey. But great, okay. So we see that Mary Jane is his neighbor, and then she's got a real shit dad that tells her she's literally trash. Like, as she's like 7 a.m. in the morning getting ready to go to the bus stop. And it's just, Dad's out like, you're fucking trash. It's like, wow, that's character development, I guess. Like, what?
Yeah.
That sucks. That sucks so hard. It's sad. It made me feel sad for her. But also she hasn't been,
it was sad.
Negative or anything. She's been so baseline boring, just this person. But the whole story is supposed to be about her.
Right. Yeah, they could have made her a bit more interesting if that was going to be the focus.
Yeah. But no, she's just like the damsel in distress. And that's what the whole thing's about. And it's like, yeah, everything that could be bad about her life it's bad, dude.
She needs saved from everything.
She does. She has to be saved in every single possible way. So great. Her life sucks. Peter talks in her general direction, doesn't talk to her. It's like 15 feet ahead of him. And like, he's talking at her, has a whole conversation at her back. But he doesn't have the guts to talk to her, even though he is now 20/20 vision, swole as fuck. Bit by a spider. Yeah. Go off. Like, why not? You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, nothing to lose. Yeah, it's nothing.
But he doesn't talk to her. And in his not talking to her, he misses the bus again. What?
She was only just ahead of him, too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so he misses the bus again. So I guess this is the bus to school and also to the field trip. I don't know.
Well, maybe that's why the bus driver hates him, is because he's late every single day.
That is very fair. He's always just standing ever so slightly behind Mary Jane. But Mary Jane was on the bus already when he was running. We can't think about it. Gotta stop thinking about it. So yeah, he misses the bus. But then he starts noticing some weird things going on with his body, besides it being a completely different body. He's like chasing the bus and like touches it, and there's like a banner just hanging on the side of it, which is definitely can't be street legal. You can't have just paper hanging on the side of the vehicle. But he grabs it and it sticks to his hand and he rips the whole thing off. And he's got real sticky hands.
He does. He gets little hairs all over.
Yeah. Which seems like in the moment he's like writes off his like puberty. I don't know. Like You know how it be? One day you wake up fucking
Yeah.
swole as shit, but your hands are sticky now.
Yeah, it just happens, you know. Everyone goes through it.
The sticky hand phase. Oh, God. Then we see Harry, and he finds his dad, Norman, laying on the floor of his office. And when he wakes up, 2 people from his lab show up to tell him that someone has broken into their lab. And his partner is dead. And they stole their hoverboard and jetpack, which I didn't know they had.
Surprise.
I thought they were working on a chemical, but they also have a hoverpack and a jetpack.
Yeah. I guess that was part of it. I don't know.
Like,
super soldiers with super gliders?
yeah. And, yeah. Sure. Great. So, then at school, Peter discovers that he can see shit in slow motion. And he stops MJ from slipping in the cafeteria on just, like, a pile of milk. I don't know. They really, like... I think they've never been inside of a high school. I like the people who made it. It's like...
Yeah.
There's not just cartons of milk spilled on the ground. It's not, like... Our lunch ladies would beat our asses if we were dropping milk places. That sucks.
Right. Yeah, you'd have to clean that up. They'd stand over you and watch you clean it up.
They would.
Make sure you got done. Yeah.
Yes. But sure. So yeah, he stops her from slipping and falling because he has slow motion power. I don't understand what the power is. I'm very confused. He has his Spidey senses, he can see the future in slow motion? Or he sees the present in slow motion?
I guess he can just slow down. He can slow everything down and or it's maybe it's his reflexes. It's just the way they like show his quick reflexes.
He's just so fast.
Yeah.
Everything seems so slow around him.
Yeah.
Sure. Did they interview a spider about this? I don't think spiders like experience the world in that way.
I don't know.
Seems like such a mind
Maybe it's their
fuck.
eyes.
Spiders would be like wilding out way more, I think. They wouldn't be caught by us ever if that is really how they worked.
Yeah, that's true.
But I guess this is a super spider he got bit by, so...
Yeah, it was like the combination of all the spiders.
All the
together.
spiders. But it still implies that there is some spider that can see the fucking future. Not that. Whatever. Okay, great. In that moment, he also figures out that he can shoot cobwebs from his wrist.
Yeah, that would be terrifying.
Yes.
That would be the scariest.
That also seems like number one thing that would have happened if he was bit by a spider. Like, that's what spiders do. They make webs.
Yes.
But yeah, he figures it out. And he, like, catches a tray of food with one of his cobweb wrists. And then accidentally pulls it over onto his bully, Flash, who is played by Joe Manganiello, who I know from True Blood. He was a Wolfman in True Blood. And then he's also in Magic Mike.
Okay.
And I think he's married to somebody, I think like Sofia Vergara or something like that. And they're like the hottest couple of all time.
Yeah, I can see it.
I
didn't know that's who that was. Magic Mike. He went on to big things.
He
really.
did. Honestly, yeah, I know who he is. So,
yeah.
I was consistently surprised by like small characters in this movie as like current massive stars. I think Spider-Man really was the jumping off point for like insanely massive stars. Cool, except for Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
This
is their hit.
Yeah.
And then
damn. So he pours food all over Flash. And Peter also discovers he has super strength. And his ability he fights Flash in the hallway and fucks him up. And then runs outside and, like, just scales a wall. Because he's sticky. He's got sticky hands.
He just goes right for it. He doesn't even think about it, really.
No, he just looks at his hands. He just
kind of does it.
He's like, hey, these are, like, hooks. I'm going to climb this wall now.
Yeah.
And he also has increased ability to sense danger. Nah. Well...
I guess spiders can do that. I don't know.
They don't. I don't know those spiders.
No, I don't think they...
I don't know those spiders at all.
No, Daddy Longlegs definitely...
Oh.
I don't think they're like...
Those little dummies. Those little goobs. Just flopping around.
Right. They're pretty innocent. They can't really do a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah. They just bumble around. And they're just happy to be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I would appreciate a Spider-Man, that has the Daddy Longlegs powers. He's just happy to be here.
Just get giant limbs.
Yeah, all limbs. I have several friends like that. I love them. They're great. So, he's all hyped. He's amped up. And he wants to make some money to impress Mary Jane and buy a car. Because Flash has a cool car and impresses Mary Jane with it. So he wants to do that. And he's going to go and enter a wrestling competition that he sees an ad for in the magazine. Because that makes sense, sure. And he gets a ride from Uncle Ben into the city. And Uncle Ben says the famous line, "With great power comes great responsibility." And then Peter is just like, "Fuck off!" He runs away.
Yeah. He doesn't understand the gravity of it. He doesn't at all.
So, Peter then goes to this tournament to raise money, and his first match is against a man named Bonesaw.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool wrestling name,
Bonesaw.
I gotta say.
It is solid. And he's like this juiced up terror of a man.
He's massive. He's so big.
And somehow Peter has put together this like cute little sweatshirt costume of like a spider.
Yeah.
And the woman who checks him into the contest is played by Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
Oscar Award winner.
This really put her on the map, I guess.
It did, apparently.
I looked up her stuff, and I mean, she was in things before this, but she is what she is now.
Exactly. That's crazy. It was so crazy. Yeah. I literally had to pause the movie, and I like walked around the couch. It was like, that's fucking Octavia Spencer. That's insane. And she did a great job. She was great, lovable. Yeah. So he does that. So he goes and he fights this man, Bonesaw. And he wins. He wins the fight. Everybody's like, whoa, no way. And he gets the name Spider-Man because the announcer is like, he wants him to call him the human spider. And the announcer's like, that's ass. Spider-Man.
And then he gets mad when he gets called Spider-Man.
He does, because he's a bitch.
He didn't even realize.
Parker is a bitch.
This guy did him a huge favor by not using his terrible name.
The human spider. Yeah.
And he didn't appreciate it.
That sucks. But so he wins, and so he's like, yes, I get $3,000. But the promoter cheats him and only gives him $100, being like, it's $3,000 for lasting like 3 minutes in the ring. You defeated him within like 1 minute. So you're lucky I'm even giving you $100.
That was skeezy.
It was very skeezy. And a thief rolls up casually all of a sudden and robs the promoter's office. And Peter allows him to escape. And he's like, well, it's not my problem. And he goes out, and so we're all feeling like, haha, Peter showed him. And then they just hit us straight to the heart with a fucking knife.
Yeah.
And he goes to the library to get picked up by Ben, and he discovers that Uncle Ben has been fucking shot and is dying on the ground. And they're like, he was like shot during a carjacking. And Uncle Ben is just like, Peter, and then dies.
Uncle Ben is very sweet. Like,
He's so sweet.
You really don't want him to die. Like, so badly. You want him to die.
It's so awful. Yeah, so he dies on the street, and it's heartbreaking, and we see Tobey Maguire's first ugly cry of the film series.
Yeah.
He's a hideous crier.
Yeah. It's very uncomfortable to watch.
I believe him. Like, it's so real. Like, that's how somebody would really cry, like, in this moment.
Yeah.
But it's so awful to look at. Oh, so, yeah. He cries. Oh. So then he starts to, like, chase down the guy, the car thief. And he realizes that it was the thief he let escape from the promoter's office earlier. Ah, God. And after Peter disarms him, the car thief flees but dies after falling out of a window. God. So much death. So quickly. It ramps up so fucking quickly. We're just like a goofy little high school kid who's buff now, has little webs shooting out of his hands, wearing a sweatsuit little costume. Everybody he loves is dying. And he's killing people.
Yeah, that's intense. That's a real tone shift.
Yeah. And the police do finally show up, and Peter gets away and returns home, and he and Aunt May start crying together. And it's awful. And I was like, well, I'm done watching this movie. I don't want to watch it anymore. It's so sad.
It is, yeah.
God. Then, logically, the next scene would be that military man that we're supposed to remember that visited Oscorp.
Right.
We see him, and he's working with a different corporation who's doing experiments also. And I guess to, like, oust Oscorp. And a cackling green flying man blows up the experiment and all the people there.
Yeah. It's a big explosion, too.
Yeah.
He had a big-ass missile.
I guess that's 100 of the $139 million.
Yeah. Just that explosion.
Non-logical scene that comes after Uncle Ben dies.
Yeah. And the thing he blows up kind of looks like an Iron Man suit. It looks like it looks like an off-brand Iron Man suit, kind of.
Yeah, it does.
It's pretty stupid looking.
It
looks
really
pretty dumb.
Amazing. Oh, God. And then suddenly it's fucking graduation. It's high school graduation. Didn't realize they were seniors in high school. Didn't understand. But it is. It's graduation. Harry and Peter also, we find out they're planning to move to the city together. Peter wins the science award, which Norman says is impressive, and that he's like a brother to Harry and to call him whenever he needs anything. And we also see MJ and Flash break up in pantomime. Like, yeah. Flash is like, it's over. Like, real big.
At graduation.
At graduation, fuck.
Yeah.
And at home, Peter is ugly crying again about Uncle Ben.
Oh, no.
And he feels regret about being a dick before he died. But Aunt May tells him that he was proud of him. And it's like, oh.
It's very sweet.
It is. And then he pulls out this, like, very well-made sketch of a Spider-Man costume.
And then he just makes it.
Yeah.
Right?
Literally, how did he fucking make it? I wrote that down with, like, 9 question marks. How the fuck did he get that costume? Because suddenly he just has it on.
Yeah, why didn't he make that in the first place? If he could make something like that.
Yeah.
Why not do that? When you're going to go wrestle somebody and look cool.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Also, I'm not sure if the Spider-Man costume is cool. I've always been very on the fence. I don't think it's cool. I think it looks weird and I don't like it. Why is it
This
like that? Why is it a
it's
full
a
body?
yeah, skin tight bodysuit.
His
Yeah.
shoes are inside of it.
Yeah, that is weird. It would be hard to put on.
Yeah. How does he quickly get it on and off and stuff? He like wears it under his clothes? But it's like you'd see it's got gloves
Maybe.
attached to it. Where are the
Oh
arms
yeah, it
going?
does have gloves.
Maybe is he tying
Yeah,
it around his waist?
yeah, yeah.
But also his shoes are inside of it. It's so crazy.
He's wearing normal like tennis shoes. So he's wearing like double shoes.
What the fuck is going on? It's so weird. But also he has like special, his like little hands have all those little hooks in them. Is it able to go through the gloves?
Right. And in the first scene when he climbs the wall, his shoes just magically stick to the wall too.
He's just able to somehow climb it.
Yeah, this is, I guess, another case of don't think too hard.
I guess. And also, why doesn't he have more arms and legs? Why didn't he get more arms and legs? That's number one spider shit. They got a lot of arms and legs and a bunch of eyeballs.
Right.
It's fine. Whatever, okay. So he gets his dope ass costume. All of a sudden, he makes a costume for himself. Sure. And he also... we get this weird montage, I guess, of him fighting injustice. Implied injustice. We don't actually know the situations that he is, like, beating people's heads into, but... I guess it's for justice. But with how, like, he then, like, people start talking about the Spider-Man, and it's, like, very, like, mixed reviews, though. So it's, like, that implies it's not just these cut and dry situations that he is, like, coming into.
Right.
It's probably because it's only in, like, the poor part of town, and he's, like, hurting all these people. Like,
yeah, he's beating up people that you probably didn't need to beat them up so bad, you know?
Yeah. And he's really cocky about it. He's like, I'm doing your job, cops, and stuff like that.
Right.
That's not a good look.
No. Yeah, that vigilantes, you gotta walk the thin line.
But next, we meet my favorite character of the entire film series, which is J. Jonah Jameson.
Yes.
The editor of the Daily Bugle newspaper, played by J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, he steals it. He is the best in the whole movie.
Oh,
he's so into that character. It's so good.
Without a doubt. The greatest thing about the whole series. Yeah, he is the greatest terrible man. Every time. Yeah. He's always the greatest terrible man in everything I watch him in.
He is.
Yeah. Even like Palm Springs that came out last year.
Yeah.
An incredible terrible man.
Yep.
Love it. Yeah, and he just wants a picture of the Spider-Man. And is upset that nobody can get him a picture of the Spider-Man, and he hates the Spider-Man and thinks that he sucks. And then, of course,
he kind of hates him for no reason.
Just is, like, around, I guess, to hear him call... I don't know. He, like, tells them to put on the cover of the newspaper that they're looking for a picture of the Spider-Man, which seems a bit desperate.
Yeah.
Would that really be how they would do it? I feel like they would just...
I don't know.
Send out a message to all the photographers that work for them. Being like, somebody give me a picture of the goddamn Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Is that how you get freelance jobs, Daniel? You look at the front page of the newspaper?
The front page, yeah. That's usually where they come from. Definitely. Maybe back in 2002. Newspapers were a big thing back in 2002.
I guess so, yeah. The media's dead now.
Yeah.
Oh. Then we see Peter, he runs into MJ as she's coming off of a waiting shift. And we find out that she's been dating Harry. Ooh. But Harry hasn't mentioned it to Peter, even though they live together. How do
Yeah.
you not notice? That's
I guess, yeah. He's not very perceptive. I don't know. He's got these spider senses. What?
yeah,
It
right?
kind of failed him.
I guess maybe he's never home, so that's why he doesn't know.
It could be.
I don't know. And it's awkward. And
Maybe, yeah.
back at the apartment, Norman is there and also asks about who Harry is dating. And he just avoids it and tries to get Peter a job with his dad, but Peter passes, and it cuts to him giving J. Jonah Jameson pictures of Spider-Man. These
Yep.
high-qual photos.
Yeah, really good. And I thought about this. So he sets up his camera, and then he goes and does his Spider-Man stuff, and it takes pictures of him. But, like, how does he know where to set up the camera of where the crime's going to happen?
Right. Right?
So is Spider-Man in on the crimes? I mean, it kind of begs the question.
Whoa.
And maybe J. Jonah Jameson's got a point for hating Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For real. Yeah. It's real weird. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. It's all for profit.
Damn. Yeah, he doesn't even make very much money either.
No.
He's like a couple $100.
Yeah.
That sucks. Yeah, he lowballs them and pays him $300 for them. And is like, you can be a freelance photographer. Maybe I'll send you some meat. Peter's like, I want a job. And he's like, maybe I'll send you some meat. Yeah, who wrote this script? It's very incredible. I think it has like 3 writers, I think, for the actual screenplay. I looked, it's like 3 people that I guess
It
didn't
just kept
talk.
getting revised. Yeah.
Oh, man. And he tells him just to go, that his front desk chick will make sure he gets paid. And the front desk person is Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
I
Elizabeth
missed that.
Banks. Is the
man.
front desk assistant. Who, like, is very famous. She's in The Hunger Games.
Yeah.
She's in all the Pitch Perfects. She's one of the judges in the Pitch Perfect movies. She's been in all kinds of stuff and is super funny. And also, didn't she direct the new Charlie's Angels or something?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Which was, I hear, awful, and I haven't watched it. But
Eh,
good for her!
yeah.
But yeah, so Elizabeth Banks has also made her career.
Dang. It's a star-making machine.
Yeah, the key is
This
to be a
movie.
small person in this film. I guess
Yeah.
also, like, set off James Franco's career. Because he wasn't, like,
Yeah.
the lead. He's just another... Well, okay, it's cool. So, then Norman is in a meeting with the board of his company, and he learns that they plan to oust him to sell the company to Quest, which is the rival company from earlier that everyone got blown up. So I don't understand how they're buying the company.
Yeah, they have no money. Their people and their stuff got blown up.
Yeah,
What
and the
are they
military man
doing?
got blown up. I don't know. Maybe they all had, like, intense life insurance policies on them all, and it paid it out to the company for some reason. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah, and they plan to oust him and announce it at their Unity Fair, which is a thing.
Yeah, you're right.
And then it, like, pushes in on Norman's face, and he does, like, that Grinch smile where his, like, his lips, like, curl up.
Yeah.
It's the most evil-looking face I've ever seen. And it immediately goes to the Unity Fair. They pretend that this is a thing. The way nobody
There were a
is,
lot
like,
of fades in this movie,
Yeah.
for sure. Like, fade to the next scene, and yeah.
Yeah. And then there's just the Unity Fair. And everybody at it is just like, of course, this is what happens. The Unity Fair, but of course, a thing. And I'm like, that's not a fucking thing. There's no such
No,
thing.
and it's like, it was like a parade. Didn't they have like a parade and stuff
Yeah,
happening?
they had all those fake,
It was a big deal.
those fake balloons that looked super CGI and terrible.
Yeah.
Like the Macy's Day floats or whatever.
Yeah.
The CGI floats in Times Square. Yeah. MJ is there, and what I guess I blacked out from my childhood, this full-ass Chinese cultural appropriation dress that is
Yeah.
like so cringy and topped off with chopsticks in her hair.
Yes. The
Wow.
icing on the cake of a bad decision.
Oh, it didn't make any sense.
No, is
At no point has been like her wearing any other like hints to like being about this fashion.
No. And there wasn't even a lot of like it wasn't other people weren't doing that.
No,
So
it wasn't like a
just
cultural unity fair. There weren't like all these different like fun cultural costumes or garb being worn. No. And Harry comments on her dress. I think she
misinterpreted it.
But for the wrong reason. He's just like, why don't you wear a black dress, but Dad likes black?
Yeah.
Because I guess he's evil.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sure he'd like cultural appropriation too, because he's evil. Like, oh my god. It's so crazy. It's such a weird, bold choice for her to wear this outfit. Okay. So, then Peter sees her and Harry when he's, like, on the ground at the fair taking pictures, I guess. And they see each other and they're like, ooh! Like, this is awkward. But then he gets his little spidey sense, starts tingling. And the green flying man shows up, murders the Oscorp board members at the Unity Fair. And Spider-Man then, of course, shows up conveniently, helps, and, like, Mary Jane is on the balcony where the Oscorp members were, so she's, like, falling off the balcony, and he saves her. Very, very good. Norman then figures out that he has a split personality?
Yeah. Well, during the fight, one of his grenades turns all of the executives into skeletons.
Right.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was insane. It was like a meme. Like, it should have been a meme. Because he throws the grenade, it blows up, and then they're skeletons for a moment, and then they disintegrate. Who thought that was cool? Or, I don't know. It was so weird. It was so strange.
It looked like the Spy Kids movies? Something Rodriguez.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. It felt like very like Spy Kids, very like grindhouse, weird, kitschy, ridiculous.
It did. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And Stan Lee shows up in the fight as well.
He does. That is the Stan Lee cameo.
And that was like a true cameo of like, if you didn't see him in that split second, like he's gone.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a feature like how they do it now, which was interesting.
Yeah, it's very like tongue-in-cheek, very ha ha ha, he's saying something.
Yeah.
Nope, it's just an old man scared.
Yeah.
Fits in. Right. So the Unity Fair gets blown the fuck up. And then Norman is by himself in his house, and he figures out that he has a split personality and that it's the murderer from the Unity Fair. The acting, Willem Dafoe, wow. Mm-hmm. Because you can tell in the scene that he is doing both, like, he's talking to himself in a mirror, and you can see, like, a little bit of his profile, and then his mouth is moving, and you see him in the reflection. And, like, the change, though, the complete, like, facial and body change he does in the split second talking to himself is, like, profoundly cool. It's really amazing. It's wild. Give him the accolades for this stupid fucking character. But it's cool to watch. So yeah, he figures out that he has a split personality and that his other personality is this murder goblin. What a day.
Yeah. That's a
That
surprise.
fucking sucks.
Wow.
Oh god. So, Jameson calls the mysterious assassin Green Goblin. Because he's the best. Yep. He's just coming up with all the ideas. He's a good guy. Yes. He's like, I'm calling the Green Goblin, fighting the Spider-Man. And then, of course, as soon as he starts calling him the Green Goblin, he literally shows up. The Green Goblin busts into his office and shows up and threatens him to find out how they get pictures of the Spider-Man. Like, who's connected to this guy? And he doesn't give him up.
Right.
Which is
protected his source.
Wild, yeah. He doesn't give him up at all. He's like, I don't know. Somebody just drops him off.
But, like, maybe he didn't remember who it was. Though. So I don't know if he should get the credit. Yeah. He might not have cared enough to remember anything about Peter.
Clue. Yeah. Has no idea who this guy is. That seems very plausible. Oh, man. Yeah. But luckily, Spider-Man then shows up and saves him. And he agrees. But the Green Goblin then knocks him out and kidnaps him. It's like a setup. Knocks him out, kidnaps him, and Norman, as the Green Goblin, offers Spider-Man a place by his side that they could team up. Yes. But of course, Spider-Man refuses because he's a good guy.
He's the good guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we see newspapers that start talking shit about Spider-Man. And Peter then uncomfortably tracks MJ down after an audition that she has. And, like...
Yeah.
Is just, like, on the street when she comes out. And she's like, oh, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, I was just in the neighborhood. I had to take, like, 5 trains to get here, but I'm in the neighborhood.
Right.
It's so creepy.
I don't know, maybe call beforehand or something.
It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There were pagers at this time. You could have let a girl know.
Right.
And she also, like, totally clocks his affection for her, right? Like, she totally is aware that he has a crush on her and, like, is giving him the opportunity to be like, speak your feelings, my guy. And he doesn't do it. And she's walking away and then gets assaulted by, like, these gross, scary men.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up.
Like, not even just her purse stolen, you know?
No,
it wasn't just a mugging. Yeah.
But luckily, Spider-Man's there to save her. Mm-hmm. And then it's raining, and we get the upside-down kiss that won that MTV award.
Yeah, iconic, man. That's
I don't
one of
find
the best,
compelling or romantic at all.
Yeah, I wondered, like, is it seems like it is uncomfortable to do that.
Yes.
And it just, like, you know, your face is supposed to go one way, but then you've switched it up. I can't imagine it's that good.
No. And it's raining. And you have just been assaulted.
Right.
And you're in a dirty alleyway.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's a lot of emotions happening at that one time. Maybe that is, I don't know, compelling you to do it. I don't know.
But also she has the opportunity. He thinks she's going to take his whole mask off. But she just pulls it down. Kiss those little lame lips. They're not even luscious. They're like, right, yeah. They definitely are thin, nasty. It can't smell good because they've been in this nasty trap mask all day. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm not about it. I think it's gross. Yeah. So great. Cool. Anyway, so next, all of a sudden, there's a fire. It's like the next day, I guess. There's a fire in a building. And Spider-Man shows up to help save a baby from the burning building. And while he's, like, trying to hear somebody else screaming in the building, he goes back in. And it's a setup. The Green Goblin is there. And he's
Yes.
like, are you in or are you out? And Spider-Man then goes, it's you who's out, Gobby.
Gobby. Oh, man. He doesn't have the zingers down yet.
Well, he goes,
He's still learning.
it's you who's out, Gobby. Out of your mind.
Oh.
Got him.
Wow.
I can't believe he didn't fucking just let himself fall out that building backwards like fucking I got annihilated.
Yep. Death.
They're so stupid. It's like, nobody else was gonna hear the line, so like why say it? Also, you probably can't hear each other very well. There's an active raging fire, a building is collapsing around you both.
Yeah.
And this is
he's
where
got
you
that mask on.
get that zinger in. Yeah, you can't hear. He can't.
Muffling. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get it all wet, because then it would get all wet where he was just talking, like...
Yeah. The suit is gross.
The suit
like, coming
has
back
gotta be
around, the suit is
revolting.
pretty gross, actually, now.
And he can't
Yeah.
take it places to wash it. People would see it.
Mm-mm.
I don't... It's fine. It's fine. And they fight, and Peter gets his arm fucked up. But he gets away, and his arm's fucked up. And we find out it's fucking Thanksgiving Day, I guess. It's Thanksgiving now, all of a sudden.
Right.
And they're having Thanksgiving at Peter's place. Peter and Harry's apartment. Sure. Peter's Aunt May invites Mary Jane, Norman, and Harry is there. During dinner, Norman sees the wound that Peter has on his arm and realizes who Peter is. Because he's like, there's no way anybody else could have a cut on their arm.
No.
Got it.
And
And as he leaves, he says gross things to Harry about Mary Jane, about her being some nasty little slut that he should just use for what she's good for and then move on.
Yeah, real gross.
It's really gross.
Very gross.
And then she leaves, of course, after Harry doesn't stick up for her at all. And then he also yells at her about being upset about him. And it's like, that's my dad! It's like, oh, your dad.
Yeah, that was not a good way to handle it.
Yeah. But yeah, so great. Everyone's lives are falling apart. And poor little Aunt May is just there like, my husband died earlier this year. I just want to have Thanksgiving.
Man, she can't even enjoy a nice meal.
It's so awful.
With her family.
It's
Jeez.
so ass. And then it only gets worse for her. Because Norman goes and talks to himself, his evil personality, about how he must destroy Spider-Man. And that he has to do so by attacking his art. His heart. Not his art. His heart. So, of course, he goes and blows up Aunt May's house with her in it right after she got home from a shitty Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. Aunt May, why people are disrespecting her so much?
It's unbelievable. They hate women. That's what...
Yeah.
Spider-Man really does not like women. This series. Jeez.
Yeah, gee.
What did women do to you?
Nothing. Like, they've done nothing.
None of them have been mean at all.
No.
They've all been really nice.
Right.
It's very wild. It's really, really bad. It's really sad. So yeah, he blows up Aunt May's house and she gets hospitalized, letting Peter know that the Green Goblin knows who he is. Like, who his secret identity is. And while he's visiting Aunt May, Mary Jane shows up and admits to Peter that she's in love with Spider-Man.
It's so weird.
It's so weird. It's like you kissed one time. It had to be bad. Like...
Yeah.
It's like, I guess it's because all the men suck. And he's just a little bit better. Because he hasn't done anything explicitly terrible to her. That's sad.
Right. So that's good enough for her. Man, you could do better, Mary Jane.
Shit. Yeah. And he says he knows him. That he casually knows Spider-Man. He's just like, oh yeah, we were friends. I photographed him. And she asks Peter if Spider-Man has ever asked about her. And he confirms that he does. And it's weird.
How would Spider-Man know who she is?
Yeah, like they haven't exchanged names.
No.
He just went up to Peter and was like,
woman.
"Yo, you ever seen a redhead bitch around sometimes?" It's really weird. Yeah. And Harry, who is dating Mary Jane, arrives and presumes that she has feelings for Peter after seeing them, like, holding hands, like, while she's consoling him because his aunt is actively dying in the bed next to him. God. And it's like, this is about me and my feelings. That sucks. Yeah, so it's gross. And devastated, Harry tells his father that Peter loves Mary Jane and inadvertently reveals Spider-Man's greatest weakness, which is not his sad aunt, it is Mary Jane. So, of course, Norman takes Mary Jane and a trolley car full of children just to, like, add to the terror. Just rounds up a trolley car full of children. Yep. I guess they're just rampant in the city. Just always. You have your pick of the litter of trolley cars filled with children.
Yeah.
Grabs one, grabs Mary Jane. And he hangs them on a bridge, off the side of a bridge, and is like, hey, Spider-Man, pick which one's gonna live.
It really is the trolley. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Classic philosophy.
On the nose.
They felt so good. These screenwriters felt so good.
Yes.
They're like, fucking got it, you guys.
Yep.
They're going to use this as an example in college philosophy classes. Look at this.
Yeah.
I hope they don't. I hope there's no school out there that's like, whoa, I gotta show my kids. Because, of course, Peter saves Mary Jane and the streetcar. But it does, like, mess him up. It really brings Spidey to his, like, edges. He's, like, having a hard time. And when the civilians, who side with Spider-Man, start taunting Norman as the Green Goblin, he then grabs Peter and throws him into an abandoned building and brutally beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, he goes in on him.
It's really bad. It's very graphic. It escalates really quickly. And then Norman starts bragging about how he'll later kill Mary Jane, which somehow supercharges Peter, fixes all his broken bones.
Love, well.
Yeah, and he overpowers him. And Norman reveals himself to Peter, who stops attacking him. Like that shakes him. And Norman starts apologizing. But at the same time, we see that he is controlling his glider to try and impale Peter, which just casually has spikes on the front of it. It just has, like, knives, like a knife extension on the front of the glider.
What practical purpose? When this was supposed to be a military weapon, what were they going to use that for? Come on.
Just like, I don't know. But, of course, he has Spidey senses. And he moves out of the way at just the right time, and the glider fatally impales Norman. And Norman tells Peter not to reveal his identity as the Green Goblin to Harry. And after saying this, Norman dies, and Peter takes his dead body to the Osborn house, where Harry arrives and finds Spider-Man standing over his father's body. And he goes and grabs a gun with the intention of shooting him. But, like, at this point, his whole face is, like, out of the costume.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, gotten all burnt up and stuff.
Right.
But I guess he's, like, in the shadow enough that Harry doesn't recognize him. And in the time it takes him to, like, grab the gun, Peter disappears. And he is, like, gets away. And at Norman's funeral, Harry vows revenge on Spider-Man, like, to Peter. So, like, further, like, attesting that, okay, he doesn't know that Peter is Spider-Man.
Right.
And he holds him responsible for his father's death, Spider-Man, and claims that Peter is the only family that he has left.
Man. Setting up a really big moral dilemma here.
It is. And then Mary Jane confesses to Peter that she's in love with him.
Wow.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
And she says it's because he's the only man who has always been there for her and loves her for exactly who she is. Which, I guess that's nice.
I guess.
But also, get good friends. What's going on? Like...
Yeah, you live in one of the biggest cities in the world. There's a lot of people you could meet. Not your neighbor, your next door neighbor from your
And also,
childhood,
he can just be your friend, my girl. Like, you should have people who care about you and like you for who you are that are also just your friends.
Yeah.
So you don't have this high stakes relationship with.
Seriously.
Oh, yikes. And you just told him 2 days ago that you were in love with this superhero.
Yeah. That's confusing.
It's very confusing.
Real confusing.
And she kisses him. And Peter, however, feels he must protect her from the unwanted attention of his enemies. So he hides his true feelings and tells Mary Jane that they can only be friends. And when Peter leaves the funeral, he does fucking voiceover again. So at least we get the bookends. Like, I do appreciate...
Yep. Full circle.
I hate when there's a voiceover and it just doesn't happen again. Like, it's random. So we at least get the bookends, which I know they threw in at the very last second, where they were like, fuck. We don't have a setup for this movie. We don't have a conclusion. Somebody
Nothing makes
Toby
sense.
in the booth.
Yeah.
We gotta get something.
Yep.
And so he has voiceover. And he says that he remembers Ben's words and accepts his new responsibility as Spider-Man. And then he swings through the city, and it is fucking dope. That is really cool looking when he's swinging through the city. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And then it fades to black, the credits roll, and a Nickelback song plays.
Yeah. Yes. I thought I was onto something by writing that down in my notes. I was like, this is going to be great. I'm going to say that there's the guy who is in Nickelback did the credits song, but you caught on.
Dude.
Nothing slips past you.
Ain't nobody sounding like Chad Kroger that isn't Chad Kroger.
No. Yeah, I got to admit, the song kind of slaps. I was kind of into it.
It is, yeah. I know a lot of the lyrics of that song. I think it was on a Now.
Yeah.
I think it was on one of the Now CDs I had. But yeah, man,
Probably.
there's a hero that can save us. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and wait. Yeah. Oh my god. So that's Spider-Man. I was surprised. Critics love the shit out of this movie. It has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie does.
Wow.
But Letterboxd kind of corrects it, like, as a 3.6 on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does not align.
Closer. It's really fun. I was surprised that I still enjoyed it so much. Even it's so campy, and superhero movies now, like they are not as campy as the comic books that they're based off of. This one really channels that. If you read the old Spider-Man comics, they're so dumb. They're just so cheesy, and this nails that, I think, really well.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never read any like comic books. I've read graphic novels, so like I've read all the Watchmen and stuff like that. But comic books, my dad really, really loves Spider-Man, and he has like tons of them from way back when and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he really enjoyed the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man series. And pretty much nothing else of like the MCU versions and stuff like that, or the Sony ones after.
Right.
But it is really fun. I had a really fun time. I was consistently dumbfounded though too by like how ridiculous and goofy it was.
Yes.
And that it
Green
was the
Goblin
catalyst. Like if this goofy ass film was the catalyst for the superhero movies we have now, that's crazy.
Right.
We've come so very far. So far away from that.
Yep.
But I guess we have, like, Guardians of the Galaxy is, like, a nice marriage, a bit of, like, goofy dumb
Yep.
with still, like, the cool spectacle of, like, special effects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy those.
Yes. There's some that still do it.
Yeah. So, do you relate to Spider-Man?
Not really. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I guess if I had to pick a superhero that I related to, is probably Spider-Man, just because he's kind of this awkward, lanky guy, and I think I kind of can fit into that. But I don't know. I was not bullied like that or anything, so I can't connect with that. But I think he's funny. I think he does have like a charm to him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I still rooted for him for some reason, and I don't know really why.
Yeah.
But I think if you relate to this film specifically, you need to go to therapy. Like, to talk it out. Like, because there's no character in this that you should really relate to. Maybe even Aunt May, who is just such a sweet woman. Terrible things have happened to her and stuff. So if you relate to her, still go talk to somebody. Like, no. Yeah, there's no character in this film. There's only one person of color in the entire film, and it's their teacher at the beginning of the movie, who looks younger than all of the students.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing, I guess, for me to relate to in it, but it is really entertaining. Mm-hmm. It is a really entertaining film that I recommend, and wow. Well, thank you for joining me, Daniel. It was very fun.
Yeah, yes, it was. I really enjoyed it.
And thank you to everyone who has listened. This is only going to be like the second of the new year, so that's exciting. We're starting off with such an iconic series. But yeah, cool. I've been your friendly neighborhood fat friend, which has always been a Spider-Man reference that nobody has clocked.
Oh, okay. I love it.
From the beginning of the podcast, I have been doing a Spider-Man reference. So you're welcome. Maybe there's like at least one person who has been waiting for this that was like, when she gonna fucking do it? She's gotta do it. Here you are. You're welcome to that one person. I'm doing it. But yeah, I've been your friendly neighborhood fat friend. Anyway, I would commission Nickelback to write a theme song for all of you listeners, to express my love for you any day. Okay. That's it. Bye.